Like benevolent.
Mm.
I think I heard that before, and then yeah, that's gonna be my word for today. Just like just looking at it, and I'm like, I resonate. Right after my breath work, I heard that word, so I was like, it's a new one.
What did you learn about it?
I learned well, definition is well-meaning and kindly. And yeah, without like expressing what I was feeling, it's exactly that. But that's what I want today. That's what I'm projecting. And I mean, it's all good. I mean, like, even the synonym, benign, caring, compassionate, generous, humane, philanthropic, all heart. Oh, that's a new word. Altruistic.
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 Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's
What does that word mean? Can you click on that?
yeah. Showing a disinterested and selfless concern for the well-being of others. Unselfish. Wow.
Oh, can't get my arm out. There. Welcome back. Welcome back, Craig. Here's some background noise. I don't know if that's you trying to talk, Craig, but I'm not picking up anything. Do you mind sharing your word again, Pascal? Otherwise, I'll butcher it.
Sorry,
Yeah.
guys, I'm having a little tech detail here.
Mm,
Oh, I hear you now.
It knocked me off and decided to come back. Go ahead, Pascal.
yeah, my word is benevolent.
Benevolent.
Then I look at the synonym and I found this word that I didn't know, altruistic.
Altruistic.
Yeah. And you know what that means?
Yeah, it means for the greater good of everyone.
Yeah, they say another synonym is unselfish.
Right. Sort of.
Definitely have some work to do there, but
Yeah. Thing is, there's a lot of confusion around selfishness in the world today.
yeah.
That, you know, and that speaks to one of the major patterns that I had embraced, and that was to look after everyone else before myself,
Mm,
which basically nearly killed me.
right. No, I never had that problem.
Yeah, well, be glad, because
Mhm.
it's pretty darn deadly.
Yeah, for sure.
So the thing is, what was told to me by many people is that to not be that was being selfish,
Mm,
and that's not true. It's actually not looking after yourself first is actually selfish, even though it doesn't look like it. Thing is, for me, I became depleted and I didn't have anything to give anyone. Then I had to look after myself. I had to recover. I had to bring that into focus in order to even be able to function. What I've come to realize as I've turned that around is that by making sure that I'm my true nature, that I'm my best self, I'm personally healthy, the people around become healthy and become better and become all of those things, because I'm actually emanating that kind of energy, and like I'm projecting self-power energy. Other people are empowered by that, by the demonstration of that. So the logic around what I was told about that was incorrect. It was actually backwards. Like they tell you on the plane, if you have children and the masks come down, you put it on yourself first, and then you put it on your children.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the truth of it.
Mhm.
But the way it's taught to us is the opposite. We're taught that putting the mask on yourself first is self-serving and selfish. And actually, it's not. It's the opposite.
Right.
So another pattern bites the dust.
Yeah, I don't relate to that at all.
Yeah.
That's not me. But yeah, for me, it's more like I always took care of myself first, but like, even to a degree that like being a taker. You know, so like completely the opposite as you.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously the people you serve, that's like someone like me. And that's huge for me. And I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if it's a safety pattern, I would imagine, that I gotta serve myself first before serving others. Making sure I have enough, then you can have a piece of it.
Yeah. That's not a safety pattern. That's actually a healthy pattern.
Well, yes and no. I mean, as much as my dad, I think like my dad was completely the opposite. You know, he was giving, he was like you, he was giving everything he's got, right? And that make him, I think that make him sick.
Yep.
You know, cause like, it's when like he retired because he gives so much his entire life. Then when he retired, he was like, oh, that there's nobody I can give to now.
Yeah.
It's almost like he found himself useless.
Yeah, it became an identity
Yeah.
that he was living. Yeah.
But for me, it's like, I don't know if it's because I've seen that all my life, and then like people that are close to him taking advantage of him.
Yeah.
I didn't want that, so I did the completely opposite. And that's not healthy either.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Because for example, say like, I don't know, I'm making I'm just grabbing some fruit from the freezer. Like I won't offer to my wife as well, you know, even though if she says no, then at least I'll offer.
Yeah.
Right? It's like I serve myself. And it's hard for me to say that, but like it has to come to the light, because that's not how I want to live.
Yeah.
But I feel that pattern is from, it came from my dad, because my brother is not like that, and my sister either, but I'm like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I've seen so much kind of abuse of them that I'm like, no, not for me. But it's finding that right balance, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you for exploring this with me this morning, you guys. It's great.
Because altruism is kind of both, it's both sides of the coin, right? And so the thing is, you keep yourself full. You make sure you keep yourself full so that there's overflow that you can give to other people.
Right.
Okay. And that's what it's all about. It's about maintaining, it's about maintaining yourself so that you can lead others, so that you can guide others, so that you can parent your kids, for example.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that really, it really benefits your kids if you're healthy. Let's put it that
Oh,
way.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And so it's important for you as the adult, as the parent, to make sure that that you have your tank full. You know what I mean? And that can be a lot of things. I mean, it can even be something as simple as awareness.
Mm-hmm.
The more aware I am, the more that benefits my children.
Yeah. Yeah, and that I have no problem to understand that. My only kind of like, it's a tweak, because I feel full. I definitely feel full, in every area, and I always make sure I'm full first, right?
Yeah.
But it's just to give a little bit, like the overflow, then I can give, right? The extra energy, the extra food, the extra money, whatever, I can give.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm completely the opposite as you, but like now, like I shared that before, like I accumulate so much knowledge and stuff, but I was like keeping it for myself. But now I'm just like, you can have everything. You can like ask me any question. I'll tell you what I learned, what I know, right? Like,
Yeah.
I love sharing that stuff now, right? But before it was just like, oh, not better than you. I'm just like, see, I'm full, and then you're empty, and
Yeah.
or you're half full, and I'm not going to fill you up, right? But now I want like everybody equal. Yeah, I think it's a good word.
Yeah. And all you need at the top of that is enough.
Yeah.
When it comes right down to it, that's all.
Yeah, I love the birds around you. The sound is so cool.
Yeah, I think that's Jesse.
Jesse? Oh yeah.
There's a few around me, but that sounds like Jesse.
Mm. California bird that's eating your lemons.
Oh wow, Canada geese, unbelievable.
Hey, don't go there.
So what's that?
Don't go there. They're supposed to stay here. Canada goose.
Oh, they're supposed to be going back there,
Yeah, they're
back to
supposed to.
Calgary.
Yeah, it's actually warm enough now, so.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing that they don't have to go through custom, eh?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things I got last night. Is that all these boundaries are going away.
Yeah.
Like that big experiment that they did with the European Union. Oh, that was a precursor to the way the world's going to be.
Fill me in. I didn't hear about that.
Well, the European Union, they made an economic union in Europe,
Oh,
where
okay.
they're all using euro as currency and
Oh, yeah. Okay.
that kind of stuff. And then a few years ago, Britain decided to exit the union. But no, that whole thing about these people, these nations that had been fighting with each other for hundreds of years, all of a sudden unified under a currency and I don't know if passports are still national or not, but there was a lot more of a free flow of people between what used to be countries. In fact, I just attended something that was attended an event that was put on by a woman who was born in Bulgaria, which was on the other side of the Iron Curtain. And I think the Iron Curtain was gone when she was born. I'm not sure, but anyway, she was on that side of Europe, and she's living in Britain now. And she went to school in Denmark, and and she's got this really hot entrepreneurial business going, and she's living in Britain right now. So it's very, very interesting how that has transpired in the last 30 years. And the Soviet Union dissolved or fell apart, and
Yeah.
a lot of stuff happened in the late 80s, early 90s. And as Rich Dad says too, it's like the Iron Curtain went down and the internet went up.
Right.
All about that same time.
Yeah, we live in an exciting time.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, a
So
lot of
much-
things
So
will
much more is
fall
going to
down
be changing. Yeah. So much more is going to be changing.
in the rising.
Well, we get to create the new stuff. We get to create the new paradigm and
Hmm.
what we want it to be. That's what I'm doing here. I've been carrying around visions of this new world for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, it worked back then.
Yeah, I said this a few months ago. I said I've been feeling a calling to co-create the world that my heart wants to live in.
Mm.
That was a meadowlark. There's that chirp anywhere.
Are you being it?
Am I being it? Am I being the?
Like, are you?
Am I being the world that my heart wants to create?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Every pickin' day.
How does it feel?
Feels good. Feels more like the other side every day.
Mm. Your true self.
Yeah. Soul side.
Greg, looking at the sun is so relaxing. It's not even funny.
Yeah. Is it up there?
Oh yeah.
Hasn't quite come up over the horizon here yet.
Mm. Oh, it's amazing. I've been sun gazing probably for 15 minutes now.
You started work yet?
Yeah, you could say that. I start at 5:30,
Oh, okay.
but I don't tip in before 7.
Oh, okay.
It takes me about, I don't know, depending where I have to go, but 20, 25 minutes, sometime a half an hour to get to my destination.
Yeah.
But some morning, like, I can start earlier. If I work downtown,
Yeah.
you know, you don't need to start at 7 because there's so many trucks already anyway.
Yeah.
The noise is already intense, so. But residential area, we start at 7.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we start like we used to start I think 6. Yeah, 6 o'clock or 6:30. But because the whole like pandemic thing, because there was too many people leaving the same time, then
Yeah.
they kind of separate us. And I'm happy that we were earlier. We finished early.
I remember my girlfriend used to live downtown, and she lived in that high-rise apartment that looks like a lunchbox. Got a big circle on the east and west ends of it.
Okay.
It's either on 10th or 11th Avenue. I forget which one.
Okay.
But yeah, and it was kind of neat living there because when she used to do commuter traffic, she'd be going the opposite direction of all the traffic.
Mm,
Yeah, so it was kind of nice.
yeah.
Sleep in an extra half hour
Yeah. No kidding.
every day because she wasn't fighting traffic.
Well, that's what I love about my job because I don't never have to deal with traffic. Never.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and in Calgary, that can be a real pain in the butt.
It can, but I mean, it's not like east, you know, it's not like Toronto,
No.
Vancouver, like places like this, right? It's just like,
Yeah.
and they're getting better. It's just like the city grew up like too fast
Oh yeah.
and they didn't have the infrastructure for it. So,
Well,
They're catching up.
Calgary was actually one of the better ones. They were because they built that whole, all the major roads were actually planned out, and they started building them back in 1955.
mm,
So they were way ahead of the urban sprawl that way.
oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, they had all their roads and everything was planned out.
But then like a huge amount of people came here.
Oh yeah.
And then it was just like, oh, now our roads are not big enough. And so,
Yeah. Yeah, when I lived there, they were reworking Crowchild Trail from Glenmore all the way up to the north side of the river. So it was kind of a pain in the butt because I was going to Mount Royal at the time, and it was kind of right in the middle of all that construction.
oh yeah.
It was kind of crazy. I got a lot of roots in that town. Didn't live there very long altogether, but a lot of things started there for me.
Mm. Oh, you start driving. I forgot.
Is that what the little ding was? Which thing?
That
That valve
yeah,
that went
well,
off?
yeah, it's just yeah, no, it's just from the truck when
Yeah.
you turn the ignition.
Oh yeah.
But I went ahead yesterday, so I'm still good. It's all good.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your patterns this morning.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for listening.
Selfishness and altruism.
Yeah, dangerous.
And we explored that both sides are not the right way of living.
Well, yeah, it's not the pattern that's good or bad. It's just because the pattern can have twists in it that can be beneficial or harmful.
Yeah.
Okay, because pattern is a pattern is a pattern. You know, an addiction is an addiction is addiction. Some of them are very beneficial. Like I'm addicted to walking. That one's beneficial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's when we assign it a charge. Or we limit the words based on a charge. Addiction for most people is a word to avoid.
Right.
Yeah, avoiding the feeling.
Feeling of, well, it's bad to be addicted because we talk about it in those senses and those ways, those patterns. And we defend, oh, that's not me. That's not me. But when you understand it, Craig, it's addiction is our patterns. We're addicted to everything we do.
Yes.
Oh, it's we can be addicted or a pattern, a tendency, to take. Or a pattern to give.
Yeah.
And they tend to match up with each other.
And neither one's healthy.
No, and they match up with each other. Give it to yourself, overflow it so that others can have enough. It's the give and take of it, yeah, the yin and yang. Scarcity. Would you say both of them were driven in scarcity?
Definitely my pattern. And I don't know, Craig, would be like scarcity of not feeling love, maybe.
Yeah, I'm getting it's more like survival initially. But there's kind of a natural progression from survival to scarcity as a kind of a background motivation.
Yeah. Scarcity to protect.
Yeah.
Provide, scarcity to provide. To protect and provide for those that can't.
See, focus on achievement is just a protection mechanism.
Mhm.
So where that may have been established as a response to some kind of a threat or a response to a fear, it can evolve into something that's based on lack as well, but it's all protection. I'm protecting myself from a threat. I'm protecting myself from a danger, and then I achieve so I can protect myself from lack. Lack is just a bigger, a larger perceived danger, right?
Mhm.
Or I'm achieving to prove something. I'm achieving to draw attention to myself, to get the love that I need,
Mhm.
like that. So love or something was threatened. There can be a lot of really interesting stuff behind those things. And everyone would have their unique flavor.
Yes. Their unique addiction.
Or their unique expression of those feelings, right? But they're all based on survival instinct.
Mhm.
And helplessness.
Yeah. Powerlessness, victimhood.
Yeah.
Can't have it. Work hard for it. All sorts of things that turn into identities.
Yeah.
All sorts of things that turn into identities. Who we've made out we need to be.
You know, of all the animals on the planet, consider mammals, human beings are the only ones that are helpless after they're born.
Which
They're-
one? Oh, human?
humans. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Dependent,
Yeah.
dependent on mother. You know, for dependent on mother, dependent on father, or you know, for pretty much everything. Pretty much every mammal out there can walk when they're born, except for humans.
Yeah, the child will die. He's not taken care of.
So helplessness is a real thing for a human being.
Yeah, we learn from birth to be dependent.
Well, we don't learn it. It's a truth.
Yeah. It's innate, I guess, yes.
Exactly. Well, yeah, but it's innate in a human being that's starting its life in this material realm, right? And that to me that's the biggest primal fear that there is, the fear of helplessness. It's you know, that's why babies are so sensitive to their sense of abandonment, that kind of stuff, because the truth is I'm helpless, and without that attention of a parent, you know, I could die. So, I mean, it's not fear of death as much as it's fear of helplessness, or the fear of helplessness catching up to you would be a good way to say it.
And in it, I think there's a version of belonging. Knowing that if we're on the same lines alone, we're not going to make it.
Right. Yeah. So that aloneness or that isolation, it's also, so it's kind of an existential fear.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, am I going to dissolve into nothingness, right?
If I'm alone, right, if I get kicked out of my tribe, right, that's so deep in us that knowing without others, we're doomed.
Right. Yeah.
Which goes to the survival again.
Yep. Yeah.
And yet we, in a way, still create that type of world.
Yeah. But that's what's changing with this work that we're doing.
That's right.
We're changing the perceived significance of the survival instinct.
Or feeding it healthy, like giving it healthy doses of what it needs.
Right.
Because I mean, in all reality, we're the most connected yet most alone, probably in history.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we think we're connected, but we're really not.
Yeah, right. That's the existential despair that shows up in the aloneness.
Right, right. So you grow up in a family, where you're all living under the same roof, but the relationships aren't intimate. So what's that? What is that? You know, what learning or what understandings do you come out of that environment with?
What skewed sense of the world do you carry forward?
Yeah.
Because we're just a child that made up, oh, I have to be this to get that,
Right.
which usually is love or belonging or whatever was void in our structure. Not truth that it was, because you'll ask mom and dad and they'll say, no, never at all. But
Right. But that's very subjective, isn't it?
no, it sure is to a child that doesn't have very many words.
Well, and doesn't have any references. Doesn't have any context.
That's right. Or nor discussions around the feelings and the meaning of them.
Right.
The feelings that have always been flowing through. We're just starting to attach words to them.
Right.
And as we attach words to them, they have positive and negative feelings, triggers, and we run through life with those triggers. Operating based on those charged words that are skewed because we go for one charge and avoid the other one. So it's not a whole.
Yeah.
They can't exist together. It was interesting, right? It's like my pattern is right. It's to get what you want, you always got to work hard, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh man, that was drilled into me too.
Yeah. And it's deep in our society still. It was, a couple of things I've got to celebrate from yesterday, right? Chris Craig, you asked, so how did it go? It was like it was a amazing day.
Yeah.
Not that anything out of the. So it's like 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Nothing exciting about them.
Right.
But the fact is, as soon as I looked at something, it was like, oh, that's the guy I've got to contact.
Yeah.
Because for this project, I had to get that revenge, that anger out of the way, which is what we moved yesterday.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, that guy, and comes to find out, I've worked with his brother before.
Oh, interesting.
There's an identity already established, yeah.
Yeah.
And but it was quite interesting. I was searching for, in that realm, and it was like, oh, there it is. That's the guy I've got to talk to. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But of course, it's just not me alone. So I've got a partner that's involved in all of this too. So
Right. Right.
So I can make up all sorts of stories of what's happening between yesterday and today.
Right.
And then I can make up all sorts of stories about other things too.
So can I ask you a question around that?
Sure.
Yeah. How did you know that there was an interaction with that person was required in this situation?
So there's been basically the way that I found it, I was looking for how would I contact a different person. And so I was in the context of this finding how to get to someone. And what it said is like, oh, this is the someone to get to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So your awareness gave you a path.
Yeah, it was, it was in the I mean, it's not like they send us a map or an operating instruction book. It's like, okay, I'm going to go to this person. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel that right to like go to this person, but I'm going to go, right?
Right.
And then along the way, it says, oh no, here, this one. Oh yeah, that's better. That one makes more sense.
Good. Wow. Well, that's awesome. That just gave me the chills when you said that.
Yeah.
Took a few steps one way and then something else came clear.
Yeah. That's taking the action, right? That's taking the obvious action into it. And so then however, I know how to get my information from that. And so my partner, right? He's tied into the system. He's tied into that company. And said, well, so here's who I need to talk to. And I know there's some resistance. I haven't pinpointed it yet, but I just know there's resistance.
You mean your resistance?
Not mine.
Okay. Yeah. There's resistance in the situation.
There's resistance to the offer.
Okay.
So there's a resistance to the change, right? And of course, we all know why, but it comes from a scarcity of, there's a chance of losing it if you do something like that.
Oh, okay.
Because, right, well, in a scarcity mentality, it is.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm asking the question.
In a short-term vision of if not believing that our industry has to go that direction, then it sure is.
Yeah.
And it sure is. All of the resistance of why I'm bumping into the nose that I'm bumping into is because of that resistance.
Right. So it's still true for them.
That my partner is still in the middle of, right? I'm on one side of it and his customers are on the other side of it. So that was what he told me. He's like, no, you don't get to talk to the existing customers about this thing. It's like, well, why not? So I have to go to new customers and prove them on two things. One, that our jobs work, and two, that it'll lower greenhouse gas. It's like, there's no way. I mean, we couldn't even prove that. We've been telling them for 16 years we can increase their oil, and they don't believe us with that one. They're not going to believe us with the second one.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But go to new customers and you tell them that, Jess. It's like, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, at the end of the day, I look at it it's the only way we're going to grow the business where we want it to go. Yeah, because the other one, hasn't worked as well. But then it's like, well, I want to hold on to this one, and I want that big, expansive one, but I got to hold on to it this way. So it's like, I remove resistance out of the way, and then resistance shows up somewhere else.
Yeah, it's a funny one to me, like that you have a new service or a new,
And they're not even new. It's just a new story. It's
Yeah.
an added benefit. It's an added benefit. Nothing changes.
right,
Right,
but you
right.
don't offer it to your existing client. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Yep, I know.
It's just like,
And I hadn't put
Yeah.
it together till yesterday, and I don't know if that's in the background because he's come around, but he's resisted me along the way, which that's fine. But I understand. I see it now. You know, I didn't quite see it earlier, but I see it now. I see the resistance to it. Even the companies that say they are, they're so resistant to it. Which, if the resistance to it, you're not going to be looking for ways to improve it.
yeah, you want to stay the same.
That's right. Well, you don't. It's not even wanting to stay the same. It's just it's not even going to be in the awareness to look at.
Mm.
So, you know, it's not even, and so you have people saying you are, and in the trenches, you're not. That doesn't work.
Yeah, the world changed, but you stay the same.
Exactly. And that in our industry, that ends up in two ways. One, you either end up in bankruptcy or you end up selling your assets.
Yeah. Neither one of those options looks very good.
Mm. I want to circle back to revenge because I got something from it, and I was like, so revenge to me is like, I want you to feel just the way I feel or I felt. But everybody, we all know that everybody feels different to different situation. So why do we try to make someone feel the same way as we tried? But we know, well, like that came to my awareness that I know that everybody like feel different about a situation. So
It has
now I
nothing to
found
do
like,
with.
yeah, I found like revenge is kind of useless because like I'm never gonna make you feel the same way as you make me feel in the first place.
Oh, here, you fucked me. I'm gonna fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
But
That's
you might,
It's tit
Yeah.
for tat.
but like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to make you feel the same way I felt because like it was super painful. But that doesn't mean the other person will be like, it might just like have a completely different feeling about it. Right? Doesn't feel the pain, but feel the anger.
No.
You know, and it's like, so what's the point at the end to revenge, right?
Well, let's just step back from the feelings for now and understand that somebody threw dark low frequency energy at you, and you want to throw dark low frequency energy back at them. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it Doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's revenge or anger or what the heck. That doesn't make any difference. It's just an energy exchange, right?
But that's just, like, to me, like, that doesn't make me feel better because I revenge him. You know, like, I'll just
Well, no,
talk
of
about
course it doesn't. It can't.
right,
Well, I think of it from a scarcity mentality.
but we still do it.
Yes. And bring it from a scarcity. I think this, if we bring it from the scarcity perspective and not the feeling perspective.
Yeah.
And,
I don't know, because my wife was baffled because, like, with my business partner, it ended up being pretty bad. But then, like, you know, I think I mentioned this in this call. I called him and whatever, like, we kind of, you know, just make peace out of it.
Yeah.
And but my wife, like, she's baffled that, like, I did that. You know, because she's like, it's someone she's never gonna talk to. Like, if she would see him, like, she probably would shoot him. You know, it's that.
Oh,
You know, like, it's that bad. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, to me, it's just, yeah, and it makes her kind of angry that I act like this.
Mm.
You know, even though it was done indirect to her. You know.
So
Like,
what does she think? What does she think you should be doing?
Just still be angry for the rest of my life, I guess.
Yeah. I wouldn't be choosing that either.
No. Well, like, I'm past that.
That's not a viable option for me.
No,
No,
but I'm
that's-
past that. She thinks I'm too kind of soft about it.
Yeah, there you go.
Ah,
There's the truth.
There we go. Good morning.
Right? I'm not the man, I guess. who-
There you go. Yeah.
Ah, here we go. Yeah.
Now, these are all just could be's, right? These are just all could be's. We're just throwing them out there.
Yeah.
But
But-
that identity, that definite identity, you bet your ass.
Yeah, there's a huge expectation cloud around that one
And the thing,
about how a man
When
is
I-
supposed to act.
yeah, and when I think about, like, I'm just going in the awareness of it, like, because she hated her dad growing up because he was so tough.
But she wants you to be
Well-
the same
well,
thing.
But she
She
wants
loved-
me to be the same thing.
She loved her dad because he was so tough.
Yeah. She said
She hated it
didn't,
too.
but she
Yeah,
hated,
both.
yeah,
Both.
But when she felt like she needed love, she got it, right? In certain ways. And so it was like, that's how we got trained to get that love.
yeah.
Wow.
All it is the truth of the moment. That's all it is.
Hmm. There's only now.
Mhm. And all we're doing is trying to get what we want in the moment of now.
Yeah.
And there's something in the way of why we can't. What a great example.
Yeah, it just
And-
came into my awareness that, you know, it always come from somewhere. You know, and, like, that's a good example that it's it's not personal to her, right? It's not her. It came from a parent.
Yeah, yeah. But it sure became personal to you,
Yeah.
didn't it? Really? Wow.
Well, I didn't see it that way before, and now I'm like, huh. Okay, now I understand why.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now that you got
But
awareness around
she wants a man that wears the pants and take them off in the same time.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, well, yes, and to
Yes.
open up and be, you know, open your heart and love, and then go fight someone when you need to go fight them. I mean, all women want that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Whatever they see on the movies, right? I mean,
That's a
come
very
on.
cultural.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, it's a very cultural thing. It makes absolutely, makes absolutely no sense.
Name the chick flicks, whatever chick flicks you want, and what's in it. Yeah, a guy that
Yeah.
fights for his woman.
Yeah, for sure. That fight all the enemies,
Mhm.
and like he's all beat up, and he's barely walking, but like,
Yeah.
Like,
And she can rescue him. Then she
I-
can
I-
rescue him.
I did that for you.
Yeah. Right. Then she can patch you up then.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you give it all away to everyone else, she's there to fill you up. Is that how it works, Craig?
Basically, you know, it has the odd nuance, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't stitch you up, do they?
Sometimes they don't.
Yeah,
Because
they
you can
leave you on
stitch
on this side of the road.
They can pour salt in the wound too.
Yeah, but they still don't take the hook out of your mouth.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, that's what marriage is, right? Yeah, there's another one, another what it is, what it isn't. Oof.
Yeah.
Just a
So
contract.
much.
That's all it is. Just a contract.
There's so much confusion around what marriage means these days. Just unbelievable.
Well, it means I get everything I want.
Yeah, right. Problem is
Legally.
neither one of you gets anything you want. Is really the truth of it. It's an
For
artificial.
most.
It's an artificial thing.
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunately for most, it's a way to fix something that's already broken, right? And then it's like, oh, then so here kids will make it better, and well, the first kid didn't, so let's have another kid, and then let's have another kid. Well, it's that whole thing is, well, you do it to me, rather than taking the responsibility. But anywho.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like building a foundation with sand, and let's put a house on it, and then like let's
Yep.
put the garage on top of it.
You keep stacking stuff in a huge pile.
Right.
Mhm.
And what about the sport car? Yeah, let's put that on top of it.
Well, that house didn't work, so let's get a bigger one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's not move the sand.
No,
Right,
not at all.
right.
No, you can't. You
No.
can't move the
You
sand.
know, the sand
Right,
is
that's
there.
impossible. That's impossible to do that.
And
That
it's
sand is
quicksand.
right. That sand
it-
is perfect. There's nothing wrong with that sand.
No, let's not look at that.
No, no, I'm perfect. There's nothing wrong with me. Because that's scary if I have to start looking at myself and seeing the truth of who I am.
Yeah, it's scary for sure. Yeah.
Because that truth is that I have to be like everyone else.
And that's why, that's why meditation is hard to do for a lot of people, right? They can't look inside. I can't meditate.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like what they see.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
But you know what? Like this morning, it wasn't comfortable, you would say, to share what I share, but it's such a relief, to be able to just release it, to put it in the awareness that, that's not me, right? Anymore.
Yeah. Well, it never was you, actually.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not my true me for sure.
But you took it on as if it was you.
Yeah.
You identified with it.
Yeah, someone, like it was a podcast yesterday. I can't remember what it says about slip, but it's kind of a agreement slip. Everything is an agreement slip, right? So I took that, but it's the same thing. Like he says, like he was talking about, healing yourself. And if you think that tincture or like this herb or whatever, will heal you, then it would. But it's not true. It's not the thing that's healing you. You heal yourself.
Yeah.
It's a permission slip, I think it's called, he says.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that a couple times. And like that really opened me up. Like I'm like, holy, that's why you cannot, like, we cannot heal just on our own because we're always looking at the thing to heal ourselves.
Yeah, you
And
know, that's a funny thing about all these modalities that are out there, right? It's like the modality is magic, and the modality really doesn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like if I see a doctor with all his accomplishment on the board, on the wall, then I'm confident that he's gonna help me. Or the way he dress or anything like that.
Yeah.
And like, and he gives me this magic potion, and you're like, oh, he heals me. No, he didn't. It's not the thing. And that doesn't mean like you drink Coke all day and then you think you're going to be healthy. That's not what I meant at all.
No.
But in the same time, like we put always our power away when the power is always inside of us.
Right. That's a huge cultural and system pattern. Is that it's a modality. It's something outside of us that heals us. It's something outside of us that's the answer. It's we always look outside of ourselves first.
Yeah.
That behavior is learned as well.
No, when I got my reading, like, she said, you're going to be the one that's going to break the pattern of the kidney disease.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't really understand how I'm going to be doing that, because I've been looking like my entire life for like something that will heal the kidney, until I listened to that guy that healed himself, and now I just I just got his book yesterday, and it's through meditation.
Yeah.
It's looking inside.
Yeah.
And he's got like couple, call it like magic tricks that it's easier to meditate. And he said one that he says in one podcast, he said, imagine that your eyes are not connected to your brain, or they're not connected to anything. So he says, like, you can't think. And when you can't think, that's when you're looking inside. So yeah, I'll be exploring with that a lot.
That little bird there.
Store or have babies.
I don't know.
Poor little thing.
Yeah. I just came across a bird that's in the middle of the sidewalk, and and I walked right over it. I thought it was dead, but it's not.
Oh.
So I'm giving it some energy here.
With your hands?
No, I'm just getting close and injecting some of my energy. Yeah.
By the way, Jesse, like that couch that we got is comfortable as hell.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's really good. So
when you're in the doghouse, it's not going to be so bad, huh?
yeah. I can lay down on the couch.
You're able to you can sit on it, huh? That's great.
Yeah.
Just clean.
Yeah. and to prove her point, because like I was like, you know, this couch was good. It's fine, you know. You know, it was getting worn out a bit, but it's fine. And then like she posted, and I think my wife, like when she posts something, and if it doesn't sell in like a day or two, then she's like, she already lower it, and then like, and then she just give it away, right? And that's what happened. You know, she put it for like something like $150, and after a day, nobody answered, so she lowered to like 50.
Morning.
And then the second day, nobody answered, so she's like, see, this thing was useless. It was good for us, you know. But nobody wants it. Yeah. And now for free, we got 10 calls, right? It's hilarious.
So
That's
I,
why a man build a house, and then like the woman make it home, make a home, right? So
sometimes.
I let her do that. Usually, anyway, mine is really good at that. You know.
Yeah, mine too. Changing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time for something new. All right.
Yeah, let's change the color. Let's change everything. You know?
Let's plant a tree here, and then let's take out that tree and plant another tree, and then let's take out that tree, plant another tree.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
That's
That
too
gets
close to
pretty-
the house and the sidewalks.
That gets pretty damn complex.
That's where I want it. Mm. Then,
Yeah,
because then we get to replace the sidewalk and the driveway, all that. Yep.
Yeah, that's your permission slip.
hmm
That's where you want it. That's funny, eh?
And they're just childhood patterns of I don't want to do that.
It's
Yeah.
funny that her wife are so different, but they're so the same as well.
Fundamentally the same, uniquely different.
Yeah.
Your wife and her mom, you mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not in every aspect, but many of them, yes.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you have to give the opposite because they believe they're not the same. So I mean you got to leave space for it.
Yeah. Yeah, they love the change, that's for sure.
That's right. And here's the other one is that their parents are right and the other's parents are always wrong. So
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
patterns.
Yeah.
Craig, the other day you asked about had I heard like the Silva method, right?
Yeah.
I hadn't, but just after I found that guy, I was also going through, and it was like that was the second thing that hit me yesterday. Was like there was an ad that popped up for it on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, oh wow, two in 2 days. It's like, all right, check that out.
Yeah.
So a free audio book, and I got one of those. So
Oh, you got the Silva Method audiobook.
mhm.
Cool.
There was one for free on it, so I got that just I don't know, just checking it out.
Yeah.
What do you guys know about it? What do you recommend? Do you recommend it, or what's the?
Yeah, I recommend it because it's about, it's basically about learning intuition, really.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
It's kind of, it's about going beyond your intellect and actually getting into multi-dimensional.
Right. No thoughts.
Mhm. Yeah. So that's my new project.
Awesome.
Yeah, I started it, but to me, I have a hard time with like Vision's voice. So I
Yeah,
just because of that, like I couldn't like do the program or whatever. So if it would be someone else that taught it, then I probably would. But yeah, it's all about the voice for me. So I'll probably end up, I don't know, like I'm reading the book of that guy that healed himself, and
Yep.
he's got some programs online, and I think you know, if I'm still interested after the book, I think like a good start is the book, like you're doing, Jesse, and then if you feel called to do the programs, then you do it, right? So you're doing the right way.
just keep something in mind with that too, Pascal, is that meditation can just be another modality. It doesn't necessarily get you to where you want to go. But you can, you can apply the stuff to your inner authority and know how to know how to work with that.
Right. Yeah, it's more
meditation
like
isn't necessarily going to do it for you. Just from my own experience, I found that I'm not much of a meditator, but I'm more of a contemplator. So I will instead of actually focusing on emptying everything, I already know that I know that I'm already as empty as I need to be. And so what I do is I kind of ingest stuff and I let it digest in my system for a while, for a few days, without really thinking about it, but being aware that it's there and that it's that it's doing something. It's doing its thing.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, and a couple days later, all of a sudden, I'll get this stuff that comes out. Like I'll get a big breakthrough or an epiphany or something like that. That'll show up, and that's just the way I process things.
And I think it as best I can tell, like for what works for me, is to always look at the structure. And
Yeah.
I think that's what meditators miss, is the structure of creating.
Yeah. Yeah, because meditation isn't really a creative activity.
A great state of being.
It's a great state of being, yeah, but it isn't really creative.
No, it's
It
kind of
isn't
like
a
it's
creative
the,
state.
you know, it's a wizard's gate to step off and then go do something with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I think it's a, you know, that's the same thing. It's like affirmations and meditations, you know, they appear to be half of the formula.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here's a big realization that's kind of blossomed for me in the last couple of weeks is that I'm actually the portal. I'm the bridge. I'm the connection between. I'm the connection between higher dimensions and the lower dimensions.
Dimension and frequency, or just
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, actually frequency too. Yeah. Thank you for that, Pascal. That's yeah. Yeah, because that's true too. Yeah. Yeah, because I innately know to insert a higher frequency into a situation or into a relationship or yeah, yeah,
an energy.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's like I was doing with that bird a little while ago. As I said, okay, I'm just projecting. I'm projecting a high frequency energy toward that bird, and whatever was the truth there. I mean, it could do a lot of things. It could heal. It could correct something. It could it could be vitality.
Yeah.
Could be anything like that.
A toy for a cat.
Say
Yeah.
again.
A toy for a cat.
Well,
It could
Yeah.
serve different
as
purposes.
silly as that sounds, yeah, it could be.
Right. Well, our expectation is that it's gonna like fly away and be perfect.
Yeah, but like I said, I didn't have an expectation because I said, well, it could be this, it could be that, it could be that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Yeah, I
felt an
wasn't-
impulse to send it some energy, right? So
Mhm.
I obeyed it. What can I say?
Don't give too much because you'll feel empty.
Yeah. Well, a bird doesn't take a whole lot of energy out of my system,
No.
quite frankly.
I shouldn't anyway.
But the funny thing is it's interesting that I would have even considered doing that. Like a month ago, I never would have considered doing that, and here I am, and I just stopped and did that, right? So it's like, okay, interesting.
Yeah,
I
it's like
think
a
the
friend
other,
of mine. Oh, you go ahead, Jesse.
I was just gonna, I think the other thing around the, meditations and all of that is, what's missing, not only is structure missing, but others are missing.
Yeah.
Together. Now, it can be done alone. I just think it's slow. So that's all I had to say on that, Pascal.
Mm.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, it was just like a story about energy and animals and stuff. Like 3 years ago, a friend of mine, he had a cat, and then he's getting pretty old, and I think she had cancer and all that. And yeah, I was called just to. I had her for like probably the last 2 days of her life, and then like really I did the same thing. I was pretty high, and I was just called to give some energy with my hands, and then like they were like, "Are you doing Reiki?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Like I never really see Reiki, so." But I was just kind of moving my hands around and stuff, and then like yeah, they just saw the cat like going to a different stage, like really make him more peaceful, and then like not in pain and all that. So yeah, we really don't know like how much power we have in ourselves. When we start exploring that.
Yeah, what tends to happen is we tend to give power to the modality
Right?
instead of realize that it's us. So, because the thing is, if you're really following your intuitive sense, you will know what the situation requires, and you can practice whatever your intuition gives you.
Yeah. Yeah, the same thing with my son. And it's funny because now like my wife is practicing it when he's fussy. She's like, "Oh."
Yeah, cool.
So, she saw that it's working. Like almost instantly, he's just like, "What is this? What is this?" It's like he's familiar with it. The Om.
Yeah. Well, it must be
So interesting.
a vibration or a pitch or something like that he's
Yeah.
that he's familiar with, right?
Mm-hmm.
That resonates with him.
Or it's like Om is like the sound of creation, something, right? So,
Could be.
or one of them. I don't know.
You don't have to understand how or why it works.
No.
You know what
No.
I mean? That's the other half of it too. It's like, okay, so you study a modality because it's like you get a practice around it and all that. And the thing is you end up limiting yourself by what you think this box is, right?
Yeah.
Well,
As if, and everybody broadcasts those like they're the answer. Like, I found the answer to this. I match up this with this and this with this, but that's what your brain does all the time.
Right.
It sets up a cross-reference thing. And this is always this and this is always this, but the problem is it's not always anything.
Yeah, we're always in that thinking mode.
Yep.
And the reality, like we don't have to think about anything. It's all
Right.
it's all recorded in their subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Like if I give you a cup, you know how to drink. right?
Yeah.
If I give you a car, you know how to drive. You know how to get to work. You don't need to know anything really. You know, you don't
Yeah,
have to
and
think.
thinking doesn't change that.
No.
Even if you wanted to change it, thinking wouldn't change it.
Yeah. It's just interesting that we keep thinking.
No, it's the uncomfortable of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Just the feeling. It's the structure of uncertainty is we got to fill in the space. And when we fill in the space, we remove all the creation.
Yeah. 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 Creation only happens in a void.
Creation is possibilities, right? There are different ways it could show up. And if we always say it's that way or this thing or it has to be this way, there's no room for anything else. It is this. That's what our mind is saying. It is this. Or it's like. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
Someone throws shit at me, right? I only know to throw shit back.
No, I went back up the street to where that bird was, and he's gone. So I don't know.
The cat. Oh, the damn cat.
No, there's no cats around. And there would have been remnants. The cat got it.
I only say that because one day I was out there and I saw a cat doing that with a little bird too. And so I tried to run the cat off and it was like, well, look at what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. I had a roommate once that had a cat that was crazy about birds. And there's a sidewalk that went to the street to the front door, and on either side of this lot there was a hedge, and the cat used to stand on the sidewalk in between these two hedges, and for some reason or other these birds would come and they'd go crossways across the lot. So they'd come over the hedge and dip a little bit and then go up over the other hedge on the other side. And the cat figured this out and he would wait for it. And he would literally jump 6 feet in the air and grab a bird out of midair.
Oh, wow.
As they were coming by. Like it was just a game to him. It was very fascinating to watch. But a little stomach turning. Because it was like, every couple of days he'd do this, right? Well, guys, I'm complete.
Thanks, guys. What a great conversation.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, this is fun today.
We explore a lot today. For me, anyway.
Yeah, me too.
Well, guys, have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, you too.
You too. Big love.